SR93 Boxing. I'm back with a quick video. This is going to be my prediction video for Danny Jacobs versus Triple G. Danny Jacobs is actually Triple G's best opponent at 160. Is he his best opponent? Because, you know, he did fight Kell Brook, right? And so far to date, Kell Brook, who actually hasn't fought much people in his own weight division, is Triple G's best opponent. Kell Brook's a really good fighter at welterweight. Or like, he's definitely not a middleweight. Middleweight, you know, he's a bit too small for it. So yeah, Danny Jacobs, what's his advantages? Danny Jacobs has some speed. He has a speed advantage. I would say foot speed as well. I mean, Triple G's pretty flat-footed. But yeah, Danny Jacobs is not someone who moves on his foot like amazingly. Nothing like a Willie Monroe Jr., who again Golovkin's faced. But Danny Jacobs has a lot of hand speed and he has a lot of power on it. Willie Monroe Jr. is, I would say, not that strong like Danny Jacobs when it comes to punching power. But I imagine he's a better boxer. He's a bit more trickier. Danny Jacobs is, I would say his chin is quite bad, man. I really do think like he's been dropped by guys, like a guy with like less than 10 knockouts, I believe. And I know anyone can get dropped, but I don't think Danny Jacobs seems someone who's solid, like a tough, like durable. Physically, that is. But you know, obviously mentally he's gonna be durable. He fought through cancer. You know, the amount of fear and mental, like the mental trauma, I would say, or like, you know what I mean, that comes with having cancer must be insane. And for him to fight through that, he must be mentally tough. Danny Jacobs has fast hands. I think he has pretty good reach as well. He could use his jab. He hasn't got the most amazing jab. But he can jab. He can jab when he wants to. He's not the most amazing boxer, even though he is a rangy fighter. Some people confuse him for a boxer, but Danny Jacobs can box decently. But he's got good punching power. That's the thing about Danny Jacobs. See, Kell Brook was landing a lot of right hands, straight rights, and if Kell Brook can sort of stun Golovkin, he's hurt Golovkin, not as much as like knocking him out and shit, but he has hurt Golovkin a bit in there. And if Kell Brook can do that and Danny Jacobs land one of those right hands like he potentially can, he can definitely get drop Golovkin and really hurt him badly. But you know, I think even though he can do that, and I'm looking for a meaningful fight like that, I'm looking for a fight where he can challenge himself. And Triple G, keep in mind, doesn't have the best defense. I do personally think that a defense that he showed against against Kell Brook was not probably his best, but again, it's not too far off his best. Triple G doesn't have a really good defense. We've seen this in the past. No fighter is there to get hit on purpose. That's bullshit. I don't buy into that. As someone who's been in fights, been in, not boxing matches, just street fights, just and even sparring and shit like that. But I can't believe that. Honestly, I'm sorry. I know I'm not a professional boxer, but I'm sorry. I can't believe that. No one likes to get hit. I don't care. I don't care who hits you. I don't care if the lightest puncher hits you. No one likes to get hit. But you know, I think Triple G is good at cutting the ring off. Danny Jacobs, I don't think has the most amazing defense either. He has a bit more speed, but that's it really. And Triple G, I think, has a better amateur background, whether it's controversial amateur background or not. He has a better jab, so he can box a bit. You know, he can cut the ring off really, really well. And you know, his punches, especially his body punches, can break Danny Jacobs. And I feel like if he can break him to the body, he can go to the head as well. Danny Jacobs' defense, and he's a good fighter, but he's nothing outstanding. I mean, his power and his speed is outstanding. He can put up a good fight, but see, here's the thing. Some people are thinking if Kell Brook can do that, Danny Jacobs can definitely do that. And technically, yes, but I don't think I think Kell Brook is a lot more skilled than Danny Jacobs. Not saying that Danny Jacobs is not skilled, but I think Danny Jacobs is not as skilled as Kell Brook, even though he hits harder. But you know, this will be a good fight. I want to see what how Golovkin reacts against the power puncher, someone who can really hurt you. I would say Danny Jacobs is a power puncher, but yeah. So yeah, I'm picking Golovkin to win by like a mid-late stoppage. I would say round 8. But I'm not too sure, man. Danny Jacobs can definitely win the fight, though. He can move around, box, and he has to. What Danny Jacobs has to do is kind of like I remember Golovkin every time he had like struggling moments. Every time he struggled, it was when he was being backed up. Kell Brook was kind of like in there, trying to be at the center of the ring, like when at round 2 when he was backing Golovkin up. And you can't be like, whenever Kell Brook was going back, he was getting hit. Whenever Willie Monroe Jr. was going back, he was getting hit. You know, he wasn't like, he was having, Monroe Jr. was having more success when he was kind of like taking the fight in a smart way to Golovkin. I think Danny Jacobs has to do that. He has to definitely do the 1-2 feint, but you know, try control the center of the ring, and don't just don't go to the ropes. You know, just move around. Don't just go back. Don't let Triple G come forward relentlessly. Triple G's not. I don't think Triple G is the best back foot fighter, but I don't think Danny Jacobs is someone who can challenge him at that. So yeah, that's really all I have to say. I'm not very confident with the prediction, but I think that's how it's gonna go, right? So I'm SI93 Boxing. I'll be back with more videos soon.